have a son named Matthew who is diagnosed with autism and a whole myriad of developmental delays.
Hi, my name is Carrie Kissling, and my husband and I have 4 children, and 2 of them went through the REACH program.
Hi, my name is Hillary Anderson, and my daughter is Casey Anderson. We have been with REACH Family Institute for about 2 years now.
My name is Desiree Nelson. My daughter is Mackenzie Nelson. She has a condition called hydranencephaly. She suffered a stroke in utero, which stopped the development of her brain. She was not expected to see her first birthday, and she just turned 9 in September. We have been with the REACH Family Institute since 2008. At that time, Mackenzie was extremely tight. She was blind neurologically. Her health was very poor. She had very minimal communication and made limited sounds. She had no movement, and she was having seizures. She was also underweight, and we were fit to be tied. We had no hope from anybody who was working with her. Nothing seemed to be helping, and everybody had a very negative outlook on Mackenzie's prognosis. Now, since starting back in 2008, Mackenzie is much looser. She has developed vision. She's able to see. She can also track, and she can focus some. She can also distinguish between objects and pictures and people, which is huge. This is something that we were told Mackenzie would never do. We were told she would never know who we were as her parents, and that she would be blind. So this has been a huge step for us. No longer an issue. REACH has been huge for our family. They are probably some of the only people who actually had hope for us, for Mackenzie, and took the time to actually see her for who she is and the potential that she truly has. I'm not sure where we would be today if we hadn't found them.
I just wanted to briefly share an experience that I had. On our journey with Matthew, we had been looking into several different resources and therapies, and I kind of started to get a little bit frustrated because I felt like all of them focused on preventing certain behaviors and minimizing the impact of his behaviors in the home and things of that nature, all of which are useful tools. But the one thing that I felt was missing was just really getting to know Matthew for who he was and capitalizing on the strengths that he possesses and figuring out what those were. I felt like I was kind of getting lost in all of these therapies and becoming a robot with my son instead of just loving him as his parent. I remember the first conversation that I had with Charlie and Conceição, one of the things that they said to me really resonated, and that was that we want to figure out what Matthew's strengths are and then build on those strengths, build the muscles, if you will, that are helping him to have those specific strengths and talents and gifts. And I was so grateful for that. Since we started seeing them, Matthew has gone from being completely nonverbal to labeling things, pointing at things, engaging. He has rich eye contact. He has incredible communicative intent. His motor planning and skills have started to improve quite a bit. And I just feel like he is making amazing progress. And yes, it has required a lot of diligence on our part, but it has also been so nice to be in partnership with a group that really looks for Matthew's strengths and loves him for who he is and is doing their best to help us help him reach his potential.
Our younger daughter, Rosalie, was diagnosed at 18 months old with sensory integration dysfunction, and she went through speech therapy and occupational therapy at that time. We took her to preschool, and she did all right socially. Well, she's very quiet, and she did not learn her letters, and so by the time she was entering first grade, she still didn't have her letters down, wouldn't talk to any adults, and at that time she was still having probably 3 or 4 tantrums a day of just crying or sometimes screaming, mostly crying, I think out of frustration that she couldn't do something like find her shoe or things like that, but she couldn't verbalize it. And we had done actually some testing through OHSU, the hospital in Portland, just some developmental research type tests and things to see where she stood, and they had released her saying that she met the benchmarks, and that maybe she'd grow out of some of her things that we considered issues. I had talked to the school as she was in first grade, and the school was not very helpful in that they just told me that they would do testing in third grade, which I felt was a long time to wait. So I called Charlie on the phone, kind of expecting to hear the same kind of thing, that, oh, she'll grow out of it, or it's normal, or she'll be fine and you don't have anything to be concerned about. And instead, what I heard on the other end of the phone from Charlie was, I totally understand. You are right. You're her parents, and you know your child better than anyone else, so you know if she needs help. And yes, we can help you. And I just felt a real warmth and acceptance and an understanding coming from Charlie when I first talked to him. So we made an appointment, and we went down, and we did home program with Rosalie for 5 years. Rosalie was reading by the end of first grade chapter books when she started first grade, not knowing her letters. So she had done quite a bit of catching up with the program. And just as she grew, she has gained confidence, and she's a mostly A and a couple of B's kind of student these days. And she does well. She does well socially. She's really improved. I think today we've been done with the program for 2.5 years. I think it is 2 years, and we're still in fairly regular contact with them. They just want to know how our kids are doing and what they're up to, and I just really appreciate that.
Since starting with Reach, Casey has made incredible improvements, and it's hard to even know where to begin to explain to someone how she has changed, and the progress she's made, and just what she is capable of doing now. And when we first started Reach, Casey said about 5 words, and her day was filled with many meltdowns and tantrums, and just many sorts of problems. It was very confusing and complicated to figure out what she needed and how to help her, and our lives were it was just very difficult time then. She had been in speech therapy for about a year, and after about a year, there was just very minimal result of improvement. And we just knew we needed something different, and we didn't know what that was. But thankfully, someone told us about Reach Family Institute and the work that they do, and that it's an unconventional way to help children succeed. And since we had tried so many different other venues, we just figured this was a great idea, a great thing for us to do. First of all, it was something that we could do in our own home, so it made it really accessible instead of having to drive all around town trying to meet different appointments and people. We were immediately impressed by Reach because of the years of experience and knowledge and study that they have, and just how it's obvious what they do is working, since there are countless lives and children who have succeeded and changed for the better. And it was just really encouraging to see many other people go through the program and come out with great results. We just were very excited to know that Casey was in good hands. We love Reach Family Institute so much, mostly because of Charlie and Conceição, and just their incredibly huge hearts for the children and the families they work with. They care for their families and the children as though they were their own. They see each child as a unique individual who is capable and able to learn and to succeed and to grow and to change. Not just something or someone that is stuck with the ability that they have. They see potential in every child. They pour their lives into their work and into what they do and into the children, and it's just very evident in their warmth and their care for the families.
If you have any opportunity at all to meet the people from the Reach Family Institute, I highly recommend it. They will change your lives.